Yo, what's going on? Guys, I'm not gonna front. I just went on Instagram on my computer for 10 seconds ago, and I just realized you could stream IG live from your computer now, which I'm about to start experiment with trying to figure out how to do while we're on this podcast. But I want to say what's up to everybody that's joining us in the audience. We had some people that were in here early. Shout out to Abe. Shout out to Micah Hernandez. You guys, we appreciate you for showing up. We're back for another episode of the Think Big podcast. It's Tuesday. It's 5 p.m. You guys already know what time it is. We're here to melt minds. We're here to expand your proximity. We want to get you connected with high achievers. We want to get you growing your business, growing your mental, growing your network, growing your pocketbooks, like all of that. And this week, Daryl even promised that he's going to hook it up with the Wi-Fi. Like he said, he's staying on the internet the whole time. He ain't ghosting us. None of that. We're chilling. And I'm hyped because this is the week where I sit with a notebook. I mean, I sit with a notebook every time. But when Sam Singh starts breaking down anything in business, I already know I'm about to make more money. Like I was actually telling the story yesterday on the Nightly Dial how in front of about 150 people, I was on a Zoom last night explaining to them that the first time I ever had a six-figure month was after Sam got me all hyped up. And it was last February. Sam got me hyped up. He just started talking business. He started talking life. And he had me ready to run through a wall. And that was the first time I believe both of us did a six-figure month in our businesses, period. So, guys, when I say you want to be ready with your pen, your paper, your notepad, all that, and if you do not see your friend here, if you are like, yo, where's my people at? Make sure you share the link with them right now. Get them plugged in right now for this episode because Sam's going to be dropping the sauce. Alejandro's going to be dropping the sauce. Daryl's going to be dropping the sauce. And I'm going to be here goofing around trying to figure out how to get Instagram Live running from my laptop. But, yo, let's open it up. And before we get started with Sam's sauciness, Alejandro, Daryl, you guys, how y'all feeling?
Wait a minute. You said you hit your six figures in February. Was that this year or last year?
No, that was last year. So we did a six-figure month last month too.
Wait a minute.
Woo.
Bro. My first six-figure month was February of last year.
Yo, get out of here.
I'm not.
Wait, how did we not know that?
I'll show you the HUD statements.
That's crazy. How did we not know that?
So that was the first six-figure month for three of us.
Damn, I'm the only one left out. What the hell?
No.
So Daryl, I think you may have been on that Nightly Dial, dog. That night, I think you may just have dropped the ball that time.
I was. I dropped the ball, bro.
That's crazy. I'm like, wait. This sounds too familiar.
Dang, that's funny, man. Yo, that might be why we all connect so well. That's wild. I really did not know that, man.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm just
I'll
saying,
have
yo,
to send you guys a
it's that
screenshot.
universe. It's that universal energy. I'm just saying, I don't believe in coincidences no more. Like, if y'all are here watching this video right now, if you're tuned in live, if you're here live the way you should be, it's not a coincidence. Like, if something reminded you or you were scrolling randomly on YouTube, you did not come here today on accident. There are no accidents. In fact, right now, you're getting a call to your life. Daryl, who's calling them right now? Daryl, who calls you all the time?
That money calling, baby.
That money's calling.
Money calling, baby.
So I'm gonna pass this over to Sam because I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling hyped.
Well, I mean, dude, I'm excited about this one because this is part 3, part 4. I don't know, man. We've done a lot of parts. One thing that I want to say, and I want to highlight this, Alejandro, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is number 30.
3-0, big 3-0. 30,
Guys,
sir.
It has been 30 straight weeks without missing an episode of the Think Big podcast. So to my fellow co-hosts, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sticking this out with me so far. I can't wait for us to hit 100. I can't wait for us to hit 500 because honestly, we're just 30 episodes in and I still feel like we're just getting started. But today, I want to talk about something that's really, really, really high level. And you guys know me. I hate gatekeeping. So I'm just going to give away all the sauce that I can in the hour that we have. It's just what we're going to do today.
Let's go.
So my Tuesdays are always, we've been doing this little mini series, right? Called Lead Gen Mastery. I think this is episode 3 or 4 of Lead Gen Mastery. We've done cold call. We've done texting. I want to talk about probably my favorite one. And that is the one that everybody wants to do, but nobody knows how to do it right. Nobody knows what it costs. The people who try to do it spend a lot of money and don't make money back, and they think it's the worst thing ever. But the reality is, if you can do this right, you can scale this thing to the freaking moon. In my opinion, it is the most scalable option out there. And it's not cold call, it's not texting, it is PPC. Now, I want to just make a quick definition here. I want people to understand this, right? In the world of marketing, when we go out to sellers and we want to get their properties under contract and all this kind of stuff, we have two forms of marketing. And guys, this doesn't just apply in real estate. I want you guys to know that this applies in all business everywhere. We have two forms of marketing: inbound and outbound. Outbound means this: we're going to pick up the phone. I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to call a seller. I'm going to reach out to them directly. I'm going to disrupt their day, and I'm going to ask them if they want to sell their house to me. That's outbound. Texting is outbound, right? Going out and knocking on someone's door, that is an outbound form of marketing. Outbound is great. It's the bread and butter. It's tried and true. It's usually also cheaper. But here's the thing: outbound, it's cold. It's disruptive. In a perfect world of business, in a perfect world of sales, wouldn't it be the best thing ever if every single seller, every single client, every single customer just came to you and they said, "Hey, this is what I want. I know you got it. Can you hook me up?" That is the power of inbound marketing, where the leads are coming into you. And we have it just like we have it in product sales and e-com and drop shipping and all these other things. There's also inbound marketing channels in real estate. Now, there are a few of them, right? I'm going to name a few of the ones that we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about direct mail campaigns. Direct mail, you send out mailers and people, they pick up the phone and they call you back and they say, "Yes, I'm interested." That is a form of inbound. Depending on who you ask, like they'll be like, "Well, Sam, if you send out enough, it is outbound." It doesn't matter. It is a form of inbound. Oh, Marlon, I think we just got. Oh, that's for you. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. That is a form of inbound. Another form of inbound, which is something that I do not recommend anybody here even try to do, think about doing. Just think it's a gimmick, think it's fun, and know that it's for a different season in where you're at. I can tell you right now, none of the four of us here are ready for this level of inbound, and that is things like billboards. That is a form of inbound marketing. You put up a gigantic billboard, and then you say, "Hey, I want to buy your house. Call my number." Now, if you guys can afford that stuff, then great. I can't. Marlon probably can, because this guy's just doing 600 months every 2 minutes. So, I mean, he probably can. I know I can't.
I haven't bought a billboard yet, bro.
Well, soon. Oh my God, a Mindset Manor, a Mindset Marlon billboard in Phoenix. That'd be so good, dude. That'd be so damn good. Bandit signs, that's a really good one. Bandit signs would yield an inbound lead. That is a very good one. It's also a relatively cheap one. Problem with bandit signs, the reason why I personally don't like to use them too much, is because they're really difficult to keep doing. There's a lot of sweat equity that's involved, right? Me personally, I like doing everything that I can just to never have to leave my home, because I'm a homebody and I just want to be able to scale virtually. So I personally don't prefer bandit signs, but that's a really good idea. That's another form of inbound marketing. So we've got billboards, we've got TV commercials, right? That's some really dope stuff. A lot of big players do that. Ryan Pineda has been running the same TV commercial in Las Vegas for, I think almost a half decade now, at least. That's another really, really, really high level form of inbound. I don't want you guys thinking about that. I don't want you guys thinking about radio ads. One thing that I want to talk about today is we're going to talk about PPC, right? This is largely, I want you guys to understand, there's two different types of inbound when we talk about ads. People think Facebook ads, that's over here, and then there's Google ads. Just know that when people say the term PPC, typically they're referring to Google. Facebook ads, they kind of stand in their own. There's other weird forms of ads out there, in my opinion, weird. Things like Bing, for people who actually use Bing, because that's a thing. You can do Microsoft ads because Microsoft has its own browser too. Yahoo ads, that's a thing as well, because people still, for some reason, use Yahoo. But for the most part, I like Google ads. So when I hear PPC, I think Google ads. So before I go any further, guys, you guys have anything you want to say on anything that I just said so far?
No, sir. I'm excited. I'm just over here taking notes.
Fuego. So here's what I want people to understand. I'm going to make a few key, we're going to talk about this because we're all closers here. All these guys, they do a lot of this stuff in their businesses. It's why they crush. Here's what I want new investors to understand. PPC is not for you if you do not have a sales skill set or are not working with someone who has a high tier skill set. It is not for you if you don't have your systems up and running. And what I mean by that is if your form of getting a hold of a seller is by picking up your phone and dialing from your personal phone number, trust me, you are not ready for this. And number 3, it's not for you if you don't have a lot of money to spend. PPC is not a free lead gen strategy. Cold call isn't free. Texting isn't free, right? Bandit signs aren't free. But guess what? PPC, it's a whole other ball game in spend. It is, you're playing a big boy game. There is a big boy spend in there, and you have to sustain it. Now, what do I mean by that? You're going to feed the machine. You're going to feed the machine. You are going to sit and wait for it to start responding to you, for it to start giving you results. And that's going to take time. That is going to take time. So I want to start with, because I try to do this sequentially. I want people to understand this in an applicable sequence. Understand that PPC can be handled in different ways. Guys, in this industry, in any industry, if I'm a investor and I want to scale and I want to get into PPC, does that mean I personally have to go learn how to do Google Ads myself?
Nope.
Nope, not at all. Why? Because there's digital marketing agencies that will go and handle all of that for you. Now, the thing with digital marketing agencies, the thing about digital marketing agencies is that industry blew the hell up during COVID. During all the shutdowns, during COVID, when everything just went virtual, that industry blew the heck up. And it meant that a lot of people started offering businesses, more and more businesses, the ability to advertise on Google, on Facebook, to generate leads because they had to shut down their physical stores. Foot traffic wasn't a thing anymore. So you had to target people where they were at. And where are they at? At home on their phones, at home on their computers. And that's where you need to go to get them. That's the beauty of a digital marketing agency. It's very much for the people who, hey, I've got the money, I've got this skill set, I've got all this. I just don't know how to run a Google ad campaign. It's okay, you can hand it off. Now, guys, are these marketing companies, are they cheap?
Nope.
No, sir.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not even close. Not even close. I want you guys to understand this. And I'm gonna speak candidly here on my personal view on these things. Digital marketing agencies were it's an industry that saw rapid, drastic growth, and it was for one specific reason. Obviously, COVID, obviously all these things, but another thing is that because people tend to not understand digital marketing. It's like this weird ethereal, like, do I need to become a coder? Do I need to learn how to become a web developer? Do I need to learn how to do all this stuff? I don't know how to do Google Ads. So I'm just going to pay someone else. And the reality is their prices are kind of ridiculous. They're kind of ridiculous. What they'll do is they'll set up an ad campaign for you, turn it on, tie your money to it, and they'll just sit back and let the Google Pixel. Guys, whenever you're doing a PPC campaign, whether it's Google or on Facebook, there is a brain to your account. It's called your pixel. Okay. I don't know why it's called a pixel. It just is. I never asked. I should probably find that out, but I have no idea why it's called a pixel. The pixel is the brain. It's the one that's in the account, live in real time, testing things out, seeing what's working, seeing what's not. So these marketing agencies, what they're going to do is they're going to turn that pixel on. They're going to feed it some money, and they're going to go hands off. And then maybe a couple days a week, maybe once a week, depending on if it's a good agency or not, they're going to come back in and check and just see, hey, the pixel's doing okay. It's producing leads, right? Or they're going to say, hey, the pixel sucks and it produced one lead in an entire week and it spent $500 of your money. And then what they're going to do is they're going to tweak a few things. Guys, by and large, that is the core foundation of what every digital marketing agency will do for you in a PPC campaign. And to me, I see the value in that. I also don't think it's a good idea for new investors to get into because currently the industry standard in the space of real estate for companies who run a PPC campaign for you costs about $2,000 to $2,500 per month minimum. Now, what that means is that's not going to Google. That's not going to your ads. That's going straight to the guy who's just turning on the pixel. That's going straight to the guy who's running your account. You have to pay him potentially $2,500 per month on a retainer just to be a client. And then, guys, is your Google campaign running? Have you paid it enough money? No. You've paid the pixel nothing. So what you then need to do, unfortunately, this is true, is you have to pay him $2,500, $2,000, $2,500, whatever it is on the service fee. Then every single month, you have to actually give Google itself access to your credit card. And then you need to give it a certain amount of what we call ad spend. And ad spend is the money the account uses to actually just feed the machine, to feed the pixel. And for the longest time, you couldn't run a half decent PPC campaign unless you were spending, honestly, at least $3,000 to $4,000 a month in ad spend. So just know that when you go to these agencies, expect $2,000 to $2,500 just to use them, right? That's part one. That's part one. And then part two is expect to at least start with $3,000 to $4,000 per month on top of that, just to feed the machine. So if you are going to get into the PPC game and you want to offload, you want to just outsource all of that setup work and not want to maintain the pixel yourself, cool, you can do it. Anticipate spending at least $5,500 up to $7,000 per month. What's up, Alejandro?
Hey, quick question. I'm just writing note on this pixel thing here. Is this pixel included with the Google settings, or is this something that your guys, or I mean not your guys, the agency people that you pay are bringing in as a tool?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Is it some like proprietary thing that they bring to the table?
Yeah. Did I just ask a question that's going to expose some people, or?
Oh, you probably are. It's okay. But that's kind of the whole point of this, right? It's okay, guys. It's okay. None of my friends have a digital marketing company.
Here's the thing I'll say about that though. Like, you're not paying someone to do quote unquote something that you can do. You're paying someone for you to get your time back. So if you're paying them $2,500 a month, are you making do you have a business that's making more than $2,500 a month? Are you making 5 times, 6 times more than that? Then you probably need to pay the man $2,500 so you can have your time back. So yeah, the pixel thing. I'm intrigued with this pixel thing. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. See, Daryl's got it. The pixel is not proprietary. Guys, when you go launch a Facebook account, a Facebook ads account, when you go launch a Google ad account, your ad account has its own unique pixel. In fact, there's actually a mini pixel tied to every account that you have. It's not something that they just give to you. They're just basically maintaining it for you. They're maintaining it for you. They're optimizing it for you. I was doing e-com before I got into real estate just for a little bit. And then I had to learn to talk to basically the Facebook pixel. It's not something we actually brought in a digital marketer who was a really good guy. He didn't bring a pixel with him. It's not like he brought the pixel to the table that turned the machine on. The pixel is a part of the account and it's not proprietary. So that's a good question, dude. That's a really good question. And the reality is, guys, that Alejandro's right. It depends on where you're at, what season you're at. So here's the reality. People think they hear like, oh, you can start a PPC campaign with $3,000. You potentially can, but only if you're running it on your own. If you're going to outsource that to someone who's going to handle that work for you, and you want to do what Alejandro said, which is basically get your time back, right? Just know that the industry standard is between $2,000 to $2,500. And it's up to you to decide if that trade-off is worth it, or, and this is my personal opinion, guys, if you're newer, if it was cheaper, I'd say yes. But what I tend to worry about is because people will do this. They will pay $2,500 per month on the ad campaign, right? The ad manager, the person who's running the campaign, and then they'll spend $3,000 on the ad spend. So they've got $5,500 going outbound. And the problem is almost 50% of that spend is not actually feeding the machine. Go for it.
This is cool. I'm so excited about this, bro. So a question to you, they're probably like spending 50% of the time on it or something, right? Us as like owners, we're probably going to do this, close to 100% majority of the time because it's our money, it's our time. So we want to make sure we get the best results. So would you say if you hire two $2,500 a month people, you might get closer to the same amount of time or the same amount of effort that you would get if you did it by yourself? Is this is where the scaling? I'm talking to the man of scalability here, so I'm asking you some genuine questions.
So right off the bat, if you have one account manager versus two account managers, it's typically not gonna guarantee that you're gonna get more care put into your account. It's really not. When you go and work with these agencies, right, and they have got a ton of clients, a lot of the work with PPC campaigns, guys, if you guys have run them, whether it's PPC or Facebook, I know because I've run them myself in another business. The reality is so much of the work that's involved is just on the front line setting it up. Because then once the machine is turned on, you kind of have to sit back and just let it work and let it gather data. Because what's the pixel doing, guys? This is actually what's happening. You're going to feed the pixel. You're going to feed it some money, right? And that money is its fuel, right? The pixel's a car. You're feeding it some gas. That's really what's happening. What it's going to do is it's going to take keywords, negative terms, negative phrases. It's going to take all these little miscellaneous things, and it's going to start testing all of these things on the internet. It's going to start sending out messages to people. And what does that mean, guys? When we have people who go to Google and they search, how do I sell my house fast? Or get a quick cash offer for my home? Or I need to sell right now. What can I do? You can target a lot of those key terms. And then what happens when someone sells that, Google's going to present them your ad. Now, in order for Google to do that, you have to feed the pixel enough, because what's happening is you're competing with everyone else who's targeting the same stuff. So when you go to Phoenix, Arizona, and you want to compete for the search term, quick cash offer, guys, is that going to be cheap? Heck no. That's going to be super expensive. So you're going to have to feed it more just to get real estate on someone's computer screen. And that's what the pixel does. It spends money to see what people are reciprocating to. And when someone interacts with your ad, they click on it, they fill out a web form, they hit submit. Google's taking that data in, that pixel is learning. It's taking in all that data, and then it's going to double down. It's going to double down. And in the beginning, this is the thing that people need to understand about almost every marketing channel, but especially PPC, is you need to let it run in the beginning, because it needs to spend money to know where not to spend money. It's one of the truest phrases I've ever heard. It was told to me by one of my good mentors in this game. His name is Forrest Blackburn. Runs massive PPC campaigns. The guy generates like 1,000 PPC leads a week. Freaking phenom. And the one thing he always tells me, Sam, for the first 3-4 months, you're going to give it a crap ton of money, and you're just going to let it do its thing. You're not going to get a return in those first 3 months. Don't even expect it. Don't anticipate it. Don't even hope for it. Why? Because it's going to spend all your money to know where not to spend money. In month 4, month 5, month 6, guess what? Your pixel knows where to spend money. And it will tell you, based on this amount of spend, we will generate this amount of leads in this area. That's when the game starts. So, guys, it is very important as investors to understand what season you're in, right? There's multiple seasons. Are you in a season where you say, Sam, I've got a sales skill set. I've got systems and processes. I'm not operating off my Google Voice number. I know what I'm doing. And I've got $4,000 a month in spend. Can I do PPC? And I can comfortably sustain that $4,000. I would say, yeah, you absolutely can. But here's the thing. If you go to a digital marketing agency and they charge you $2,000, you've only got 2,000 left over. And that's not enough to feed the machine. So you're at this interesting crossroads. Do I go with a company that does it all for me and only have $2,000 a month in ad spend? Or do I maybe go do it on my own? And there's a third option, which I want to highlight to people after this, but that's a crossroads that a lot of people go at. When you do that, guys, we're in the internet era. Everybody can learn how to run Google ads. Everybody can learn how to run Facebook ads. It's going to take work. It's going to take study time. It's probably going to go over your heads if you're not a tech-oriented human being, but it does work. It absolutely does work. So if you're that person, I've got a sales skill set. I've got, a closer on dial. I've got a dialer system. I'm good. I just don't have $6,000 a month in spend. I've only got $4,000. great. It actually may be worth it for you to spend a month to learn how to do your own PPC and run that campaign yourself. It'll actually pay you a lot. So, guys, any questions so far before I go any further?
No, I want to just highlight something that, like, you know, something that, like, you got to emphasize here, or that you did emphasize, that I want to, like, kind of reiterate for people to catch, which is when it comes to marketing, being able to understand that when we look at marketing, like, we have to approach it with the thought process of, can I keep this machine turned on until it produces? And sometimes people want to dabble in marketing, and that's where you're going to get hurt. And I can speak from, like, a place of, like, personal experience. In the beginning, I didn't like marketing. I didn't like spending money on marketing because I didn't have that stomach in the beginning to wait for the return to finally come back in. Because, like, I'm that dude that was like, I put the dollar out and now, like, I'm staring, like, waiting for it to come back through the door. And with certain things, like, I look at marketing like being a good farmer. You go out, you're planting seeds. I mean, it'd be kind of wild if a farmer went out there, planted seeds today, and then for the next couple of months just stared at the dirt waiting for it to pop up. You would just look at him like, bro, do you not understand how this works? Like, don't you get the process here? Or if, like, a man gets his wife pregnant and, like, every day he's coming home just, like, yelling at her like, honey, where's the baby? Like, hurry up and make the baby come. It's like, you can't force the baby to come any faster. Things take a natural process. It's called the law of gestation. Things take a natural sequence of time for it to produce its results. So I want to remind everybody that when you're beginning to look into marketing, and you might say, well, I've got $1,000 to market. Okay, so that means you have $1,000, and when that $1,000 runs out, your marketing is dead if nothing new comes in. You might not have enough time to be able to market long enough. You might need to continue to do some guerrilla marketing, some grassroots marketing, or you need to go raise capital to market. But you need to be able to turn this marketing machine on and leave it on until it can properly produce. So when Sam's saying PPC, that this might take, your pixel, it's going to need to gather information. It's going to need to learn and grow before it can produce. And it might be 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. You have to be in a place to recognize that 6 months is when your leads start coming in. And then you still have another time after that where you've got to start working your new pipeline. So you might not get paid from this until month 10, month 12. But then at that point, you've got this floodgate pouring deals into your system. Now you're printing money, but you've got to be willing to go there. You got to be willing to get there. It's like, what do they say in the Navy SEALs? Like, everybody wants to get to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Right? Like, in this case, like, you got to be willing to pay the price. So just want to remind y'all of that.
Dang.
Dude, I love that. I love that. And a lot of this is a lot of this can be summed into this. It's that marketing is a game. Marketing is a game. It's a game of testing, right? That's really what this is. It's science. When a scientist, when a PhD doctoral professor who's basically trying to prove something in his big dissertation, what does he do? He doesn't just make a claim and then put it on paper and then submits it and gets a PhD. They have to prove. In order to prove a hypothesis, right? When you're setting up a PPC campaign, when you're setting up a texting campaign, your thought process is, if I pull this data set, or if I target this demographic and I put this much money into the system and I turn it on, I will get this return. That is a hypothesis you're proving. With marketing, you actually have to test it. You got to run trials. What is that trial in PPC? Turning the machine on, feeding it, and sitting back for 3 months and seeing what works and what doesn't. Eventually, you will get the answer. You will prove your hypothesis, or you will disprove it, or you will tweak it. You'll just all testing. And then before I go any further, I want to just address this. Brandon asked this great question. Hey guys, do any of you do any cold calling at all and just take JV deals, PPC or agent deals? Everyone here does all of that. We're all running high level marketing, and we're doing cold calling, we're doing texting. I'm not massive on JV stuff, but I have a small JV pipeline. We're doing PPC. We're doing a bunch of different things. We're testing out new things. Like, funny enough, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I'm testing out YouTube ads, which is going to be fun. We'll have to do a day on that one day.
I'm not doing so no one asked me about PPC. Just throwing it out there. I ain't doing PPC right now.
I'll run Marlon's PPC campaign. It's all good. So guys, that's going the agency route. Okay. That's where you're just saying, hey, I want to spend the money. I have the money. I know I know how to manage expectations. And I should say this, guys. Marlon's whole point is phenomenal. Why? Because so much of marketing and so much of spending money, right? Getting your wallet out, right? Getting your wallet out, pulling out a card and swiping it is a game of managing expectations. Too often we see, I'll be a newer investor and I'll see that Marlon has 3 cold callers and they just got 10 deals, this month. And I'm like, oh my God, Marlon, which VA company do you use? Marlon, which list did you pull? Okay, I'm going to go do that right now. And then in 2 months, when I've made $0 and I've spent $6,000, I'm going to be like, Marlon, you're a freaking liar. I didn't realize that Marlon has been running that campaign. He's been planting those seeds and nurturing that soil for 6, 7, 8 months. And now all those plants are starting to mature. Now he's in a season of harvesting, right? He got past that grunt phase. Now he's in the benefit phase. So guys, that's the agency model. That is to be as outsourced as possible, as automated as possible. You're hands off. It comes at a cost. Just know what those costs are, expect it, and understand what that is. I want to get into what it looks like to look at something else, because I think there's something else that's really, really, really slept on. Because I think for you to start getting into the realm of PPC, right? To get into it, you want to test it out, but you don't want to go and start spending 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a month in recurring spend, right? To launch a whole campaign. Guys, is there another option to get into the PPC game without having to launch an actual campaign? Daryl, what is it?
You said to launch a PPC without having to launch a campaign.
Yeah, how can people get a taste of PPC without actually having to go to an agency or without having to set up Google ads themselves? How can they get a taste of PPC leads?
Oh, you can buy one-off PPC leads from people who do have campaigns and are currently, marketing to people. People will fill out their ad, and then what these people do is they then take that lead and they sell it to people who you can either buy it exclusively, you can buy it and let other people buy it, but it just turns into a free-for-all at that point.
Guys, that is known, that model, right? Let's just say I want to play in that model. I'm going to run a nationwide ad campaign on Google, on Facebook, and all these things. I'm going to do that. I'm doing PPC. I'm doing pay per click, right? I am paying Google per the click it generates. That's literally what that means. Then I'm going to have people fill out a web form. They're going to submit. Ta-da! I've got a PPC lead. But then I want to sell that lead. I'm not going to call it. I'm not a wholesaler. I'm not an investor. I just want to sell people leads, right? This model of just selling that lead, a lot of times people call it a la carte sales, which means it's a one-off, right? Literally means on its own. Or you can do a la carte. This is actually more technically known as PPL. It's not PPC. It's not pay per click. PPL is pay per lead. Now, there's a few big providers in this game who do that. One of the big ones who a lot of people have heard about, they do a ton of sales. They're really big. I will say this. I will caution this. This is the one thing that I'll caution everyone on because I want you guys to get a return on your money. Don't ever buy PPL. Don't ever buy leads from a PPL provider if they're selling those leads to other people as well. Because you're spending money to just compete with everybody else.
Facts.
And one of the biggest ones in the game, which more than likely you guys all know, they do exactly that. And they were recently exposed for that. And guess what? There are people spending $200, $300, $400 per lead. And then what they'll do is they'll buy the lead and then they'll go on another laptop or incognito. They'll go back to the site and find that exact same lead still buyable. It means that the company is reselling that lead to multiple people. So you're spending, $150, $200, $300, $400 for a lead that is immediately being sold to other people who are going to compete directly with you. So when you go for it.
Sorry, bro. I was just gonna say that literally just happened to us. We got a lead from a company that rhymes with IP on trees, and it was we paid like $300 for a lead, and we get on the phone with the dude, and he literally said it. He's like, yo, I filled out my information on this website. I had no clue they were going to send it out to 1 million different people, and everybody's been calling me. I'm like, shit. well, my bad, bro. And just with that PPL, pay per lead model, to me, it's just so many questions, right? Like So I'm so skeptical about so many things when it comes to it, right? Like my first thought is, why would they not take advantage of these leads on their own in the first place? Like why would they not call these leads on their own, right? And then the answer to that is they probably are. They probably are calling them, and then they still sell them anyways. You know?
Oh, it's not probably. It's not probably. It is a guarantee.
Yeah.
What with that company, guys? We're not gonna, because Daryl and I mean, we make good money. I don't think we make enough money to be soliciting lawsuits over here. But the reality is, I've bought from this company. A lot of you guys have. A lot of the closers in our community have. IP on trees. Oh, that's so hilarious. The reality is this, guys. They've been exposed time and time again. And the only reason that they are as big as they are is because they have a ton of influencer partnerships in this industry. And yes, they are 100% marketing to those leads. And what does that do for you guys? It hurts you. It's great for them. They're going to get the lead in. They're going to have their team call it instantly. And once the team doesn't get a deal, like right off the bat, they're going to go ahead and port it into their system, and they're going to charge you $400, $500 for it. Okay. Then you're going to buy it, and they're going to sell it to another guy for $400, $500 again and again and again. And then 2-3 days later, right, what's going to happen? They're going to keep dropping that price down. Now more people buy it because it's not $400, it's $300. Then 2 days later, it's $50. Now 50 different people buy it. Then it goes on a flash clearance sale for $1. And all of a sudden, 200 people bought the same damn thing. Where are your chances of success, right? What is your competitive advantage playing that game? You guys have none. Now, I will say this. I've gotten deals going to that provider. I have gotten deals, right? But going forward, knowing what I know, right? I didn't know that at the time, but finding out what I found out, it's like a lot of those dots, like for Daryl, a lot of those dots started connecting. It's like, wait a minute, you called, how many people called you? They called you, you got called by 50 people today? Well, your lead was sold to me ooh, okay. And did all those people tell you, Mr. Seller, that you filled out their web form? Oh, okay. You can easily spot these things a mile away, guys. There are other PPL providers that actually are ethical. They're ethical. They have a bidding system. Once you buy it, it is off the market. They're not retargeting it. They're not reselling it. I highly recommend looking into those ones. And you guys can hit us up for that. We'll connect you with them. They're actually pretty decent. Now you're still going to spend quite a bit of money. Because with these websites, a few of them run kind of this, and I want you guys to know this because it's out there. A few of them have this auction kind of platform where it's not, hey, the lead is $50, pay $50 and you get the lead. It is, we're running a campaign in Jacksonville, Florida. And in Jacksonville, Florida, right, I need to bid against other wholesalers, against other investors, and I'm going to put a bid amount. I'm going to bid up to $200 for a lead in Jacksonville for the next Jacksonville lead that comes up. The person who has the highest bid amount gets the lead. And then it just goes and it cycles to the next one. So those providers, one of them is actually really, really good. They're ethical. I know a lot of people who use them. I've never heard a single horror story about them, and it's because there's actual exclusivity. If you go PPL, pay per lead, only go to where you can guarantee exclusivity. Marlon, as someone who doesn't run a lot of PPC, man, what are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking so far?
No, I think PPC is solid. I mean, I believe in it. It definitely makes sense. And for anyone looking to, if you're going to create a scaled wholesale business, which, by the way, just like honestly, most people don't ever actually build a business out of it. Like they just go out and do deals. But if your intention is to create a sustaining business, then regardless of what business you're in, you need leads. And right now, PPC, I don't know how people don't believe in the power of PPC, because to me, it's like it's a logical thing. We are moving more and more to the internet. This is kind of like if back in the day we used to send mail through the postal service, and then someone said we should start calling on the houses, and someone's like, "Oh no, everyone just is used to getting mail. Like no one's going to ever answer the phone and do sales over the phone." Well, guys, more business is done over the internet than anywhere now. It's the largest marketplace on planet freaking Earth. So to be able to start to understand that and to incorporate your business into having an online presence or leveraging these online tools that can work in your favor, it's massive. Because when you have inbound leads, I can't stress the importance of when you're wholesaling and you're buying real estate and you have someone who is volunteered, who's raised their hand and said, yes, I am interested. Yes, I want to talk to a professional. Yes, I want that professional to be you. That's so much more of a powerful conversation. Your business, your employees, your salespeople, your closers, they are going to have a better time on the phone. They're going to get less burnout because the quality of the lead will be so much different. These people will actually want to have conversations. I can't stress that part enough. It is so easy to get burnt out when you're just getting yelled at and cussed out over the phone because you're just like cold calling to find the person who wants to talk to you. Whereas imagine this, every PPC, whether it turns into a lead or not, this person at least wants to have the conversation. I can have a conversation like that all day long. I can do an 8-hour workday like that versus a 3-hour workday where I'm like just prospecting and getting cussed out all day. So that's going to be something from the longevity standpoint of your actual business. When we're thinking holistically and you're thinking about your system as a whole, the healthier your lead generation is on the front end, the more quality your lead generation is on the front end, the better you as an entrepreneur can think about how do I make this thing as efficient as possible, the better the rest of your business will have the potential to flow because that front end is so much better. So that's kind of what's going through my mind, Sam, as you're breaking this down.
Bro, it is that's good. Like I feel like I explain things well, and then I hear Marlon speak, and I'm just like, get it together, Sam. You need to do so much better. Marlon is so good. He's so articulate with how he explains things, and he's absolutely freaking right. And one thing I want to hit on is that this is first and foremost. I actually want to highlight this, guys. Alexis Morgan just joined the Dog Pound. For those of you guys that don't know, like who isn't in the Dog Pound? Like I don't, dude. What are you guys at like 5,000 people yet, or what? You guys are huge.
We're almost at a stack, bro. We're almost at a stack.
Damn, guys. If you're not in the Dog Pound, I'm not even gonna stress y'all on it. Just go get the hell in there. Why are you not closing your PPC leads that you keep buying for $400 a lead? It's because you ain't in the Dog Pound working on your sales. Like
Facts. That's
it. So one thing that I want to highlight is that is actually the dopest thing ever, Marlon. I don't know how you did that, but like I'm just gonna do that for now. I think one day we just need to do like a super high level masterclass, and that's all just emoji faces. But guys, the cool thing about running an ad campaign, right, is that, or one of the most critical things is it's expensive. So do not spend the money if your sales game sucks. Like through and through. Do not spend $400 on a lead. Don't give an agency $2,500 a month if you're afraid to pick up the phone and dial. The people who I see who are going to succeed in PPC, guys, the person who's going to pick up the phone, right? The person who's going to make that call when that lead comes in, it has to be someone who's hungry to be on that call. It has to be someone who has a killer sales skill set. So if you don't have it, that's totally fine. What can you do? Daryl, what can they do? What should they do? If I want to get into PPC, but I suck on the phones, what should I do?
Get better on the phones first.
Get better on the phones? What if that ain't in the cards for me, bro? What else can I do?
Squad up with some closers who are good at closers.
Squad up. It's that simple. There's enough freaking badass closers in this game. A lot of them who are on the screen right freaking now, a lot of them are being created in the Dog Pound every single damn day. That's where you go find those guys. So if that's not you, that's totally okay. You can either work on your sales skills in the Dog Pound. You can work on your sales skills by buying a certain high-level sales course that just dropped recently. You can go do all that, or you can go squat up with Alejandro, with Daryl, with Sam, right? That's how you get into this game at a really high level. That's definitely a way to do it. One thing that I want to really kind of hit on, guys, is this, because great question here. This is from Jeanette. I heard SMS is dead. Do you still think SMS is still a good strategy? With all the restrictions, it's just not worth it, right? So first and foremost, SMS isn't dead. No, it's not dead. It's not dead. You may have run a campaign, right? You may be listening to an influencer or a guru who's running a campaign that may have sucked. It may have flopped. There are 1,000,001 little tiny micro nuance parts that run into how to run a SMS campaign or a cold call campaign. It's not just Sending out the text. How many texts are you sending? What is your spacing between texts? What are the templates and the words that you're using? Do you have enough phone numbers? Are you rotating those phone numbers? There's a lot of little things that add up to whether or not an SMS campaign will be successful or whether or not it will be restricted. So if set up properly, SMS is a phenomenal method of marketing. It is a fantastic one. Are there restrictions? 1,000%. There's also restrictions on cold call. There's also restrictions on like things like TCPA. So how do you optimize? How do you get past those things? How do you make sure that you have success? Same thing that you do in cold call. Hire a competent caller, train them to not be obnoxious on the phone, cycle out your phone numbers consistently so they're not being marked spam, right? Use a quality dialer that knows what it's doing. Don't burn out your numbers. Have good data, right? There's a lot of things like that. And Joel, there you go. Every one of us is buying in Lubbock, Texas. So I would say SMS is not dead. It is not going to die anytime soon. And I would also be very careful about this because I've been hearing a lot of people, a lot of my, and I love them, they're my friends, a lot of my friends bashing on SMS, bashing on a thing. And here's the caveat. Their next post will be selling you their VA company. Their next post will be selling you their PPC company. Be very careful with who is saying it and what ulterior motives they may have. Because if someone's bashing SMS, ask yourself, is this person also trying to sell me PPC leads on the side? If they are, can you really take what they're saying like at face value? Or should you maybe look for a more non-biased opinion? That's my personal take on it. And here's the actual truth. The sooner you can diversify your marketing, the better. So Jeanette, I say SMS is great. I say SMS. We did a whole episode on SMS a couple weeks back, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, right? It was a lead gen mastery day where we broke down SMS at an extremely high level, like to the dollar amount, to the actual number of texts you need to spend. I highly recommend going to either one of our YouTube channels, go to the YouTube channels, go to where it says live, right? On whichever four of us you're watching, and then go back 2-3 weeks, you'll see lead gen mastery. It'll be all about SMS. We break it down at a great level. So SMS is great. Cold call is great. PPC is great. Run as many of them as you can that you can sustain, that you can do reliably, that you can set up properly. What you don't want to do is set them all up and half-ass all of them, because then they're all going to fail. My personal take is this: know what season you're in. If you're brand new and you don't got a ton of money and you're really just trying to test things out, don't go PPC. It's an advanced marketing method. I would honestly start with texting. Texting is really cheap to start. It's really cheap and easy to get your feet wet. Dominate that method. Once you got that, it's sustained, it's scaled, it's doing really well, it's performing. Go hire a caller. Then build up your cold call operation. Once you've crushed that, then go start playing with PPL. Go buy some leads from a quality provider. Get some money coming in. Then maybe entertain the idea of running a PPC campaign. At any level of scale, you will want to diversify. I spent this past weekend at a really, really, really high level mastermind workshop where I had the incredible honor of actually getting to speak about my performance, what our business is doing, which was really cool. And one thing that I realized, there was a lot of high level operators in the room. And one critical thing that I noticed about a lot of these operators, even at a high level, was that too many of them were over indexed in one marketing method. They're only doing one thing, and that's powerful. It is, but it can also be a double-edged sword. It means you're leaving a ton of money on the table. So at some point you will want to diversify. And also, let's just say, to your point, what if SMS disappears tomorrow? What if the apocalypse happens for cold marketing? You can't SMS, you can't cold call anymore. Did your business just get shut down? Like that's a true thing. I've seen people who only do SMS, who only do cold call, who only use one system, one process. And I believe in focus. I really do. But also that can hurt you sometimes. And then their CRM company goes down. I literally saw, I forgot what company it was, but there was a dialer system that just went down for like a month and a half recently. And I had like 20 friends who were using it. They're all high level operators. And then like half of them literally went an entire month with zero revenue. Their businesses got shut down Why? Because they were only doing one thing. There was no diversity in their marketing. So when you go look at, the biggest brands out there, go look at Nike. Is Nike only doing TV ads? No, they're doing TV commercials. They're doing billboards. They have athlete sponsorships. They've got affiliations with professional athletes, with high school freaking teams at a really high level, with colleges. They're doing so much. They're throwing free clinics all over the country, all over the world, right? They do benefits. They do all these things. Guess what? All of those things, even if they're free charitable events, they're marketing. It's what makes sure that they're going to stay around no matter what. Go for it, Marlon.
I saw Joel's question in the comment. I wanted to ask this, right? Because it says, in your humble opinion, what's your favorite and most preferred method of lead gen? Tired landlord versus agents versus probate? And, I think this is such an interesting question because it gets asked pretty often. And and I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on this too, where my opinion is skewed with figure out the problem that you want to get good at solving and then go and find people that have that problem. Right, like, because just because of the way he asked that, like, is it tired landlords? Is it agents? Right, like, if you're really good at talking to agents and you understand their language and you understand their problems, then you should be marketing the agents. I loved talking to old tired landlords. Like, I'm an old man at heart. I was born into this ridiculously good, strong, young body, but like real talk, I'm like a 90-year-old man living in here. I like going to bed early. I like waking up early. I sit down. I read my books. So I like talking to old people because I relate to them. So that was like my favorite form of lead gen. What do we got, Alejandro?
He's the most athletic 80-year-old man I've ever met.
I just wanted to rewind real quick because we have a ton of people here that are pretty new to this and they're still stuck months later because they keep consuming content. And Marlon, you just said it like it was like nothing. Figure out what you're good at solving and then go help people that have that problem will make you a multi-millionaire. When you said them, like, that's what I keep trying to tell everyone. Like when people are calling me with, hey, where do I start? Where do you start? What are you good at? What do you like to do? What is something that you can wake up tomorrow and you will have no trouble to pick up the phone or whatever you're doing, you will have no trouble doing that one thing forever. Doesn't matter if you're tired or you're sick, you will always do it because you enjoy it so much. What is that? Figure that out and figure what that is and what problems it solves and go find people with those problems and you'll be a multimillionaire.
Bro, like literally.
Hey, Marlon, you can't just say that like it's nothing. When you said that, like the chills just went down. I'm like, bro.
Because dog, it's the sauce right there. Like that's the answer. It's like people sleep on this. It's what do you want to do? Because everything that, like we said it earlier, Sam said it right with PPC. It's going to be consistency. So when it comes to lead generation, what's the best lead generation? It's the one that you're going to keep doing over and over and over. And I highly recommend you generate leads. You drum up the sort of people who you actually want to solve their problem. Like when people are like, should I be doing pre-foreclosures? I'm like, well, do you understand how to fix a pre-foreclosure problem? Well, no. It's like, then either go learn how to fix pre-foreclosures and then market for that, or don't go and work on pre-foreclosures.
But those are the best leads, Marlon. Those are the best leads from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because like, bro, people do that. I'm like, yeah, but like, it's not for you. Because every time you're going to panic on the phone, you're going to give up. You're going to get frustrated because you're not understanding this process, this dynamic. Like you are a business, you need to figure out who your ideal customers are, and then you need to go and connect with your ideal customers. You need to, your marketing, your lead generation should be bringing those sort of people into the door. But if you don't know how you can serve them and you're trying to serve every single Tom, Dick, and Jerry out there, then you're going to be running into this situation of you're never going to be able to narrow down and dial in to any particular marketing. Because I have people that they prefer to do postcards. Why? Because the audience that they talk to, it's that older generation living down in Florida. They don't necessarily answer their phones as much, but they respond really well to postcards. Now, if I'm marketing to like young couples, they're not going to respond to postcards, right? If I'm marketing to young couples, PPC is probably going to crush it way better with like an age group between 30 and 50 because they're on Facebook. That's where they're hanging out. They're online. So I get to know my audience. Get obsessed with understanding your customer. Get obsessed. You know, we have a saying that the only reason people sell is because they don't know how to market. And it's like the truth. Like you only sell because you don't know how to market. Like sales is a great skill. I'm grateful I can sell, but once I learned marketing, I was like, oh my gosh. If I had learned marketing, I would have never even needed to learn sales. So I'm grateful that I learned sales. But if you get dialed in on your marketing, you understand it's attracting the right people. And the right people means they're the people that have the problem that you could solve. I mean, Daryl does it all the time. Like Daryl brings in the right sort of people who he has a solution for their problem. So I tag team Sam.
I love our tag team, like our tagging system. It just reminds me of like WWE, like back in the day when I was a kid, because it always, yeah, exactly. They would always miss too. It's the stupidest thing ever. So I'll say this, guys. And to Marlon's point, Marlon is 1,000% right. Right? When you're newer, when you don't have a gigantic budget, one, what are you good at? Who do you want to serve? Find out their problem. Find out their pain points. Don't make it too much about you. Make it about them. What do they need? I have a really good friend of mine. And here's the other thing, guys. You mentioned tired landlords or agents or probates. Well, here's the thing. Those are very different situations, right? There's a million different differences that you have to deal with. And a lot of it is managing expectations. So I have a friend of mine who's only targeting auction sales. That's it. People who are about to lose their home to an auction in about 5 freaking minutes. Okay. Crushing it, doing lots of leads, getting a lot of deals. But here's the truth with that. He's spending money opening escrows and the banks shut it down and they refuse to work with them. That is a cost of doing business that is specific to that method. I have other friends who don't mess with auctions. They never have to deal with problems with the bank. So whatever you do, understand the problem, understand the solution, understand the process. If you can resonate with all that, you feel like you can handle that, that's the thing that you should do. That's the thing that you should focus on. And when you're bigger, when you've made money, when you have a team, then maybe look into expanding, diversifying, because that can really truly serve you at a higher level.
Straight fire from Mr. Sam himself.
Yeah. So what I'll say is this, guys. Joel, and you, this is what I want to highlight because you had this epiphany recently about being a connector. Guys, look at all of us here. Daryl is a phenomenal closer. Phenomenal closer. So what did he do? He created a breeding ground for other great closers in the dog pound. He's a phenomenal salesman. He understands sales at an extremely high level. So what did he do? He has a sales course. It's freaking crushing. It's amazing. Right? Marlon can talk about mindset forever. Forever. Me and my friends know that if you're tired and it's late, don't whisper the word mindset near Marlon because he will go for 8 more hours. He'll like, what? And he'll sprint at you and talk about mindset. So, but what did Marlon do? That's his superpower. He loved it. So he created the Millionaire Mindset community. He found a thing that he truly enjoys, found that other people have a problem. And that problem is they don't get to talk about it enough. They don't get to focus on it enough. They don't get to practice it enough. Mindset isn't something, it's not just a thing. It's something you practice. It's something you work on, and created a community out of it. And he's going to make a business out of mindset. It's really, really, really cool. So whatever it is for you, Joel, it's connecting. You love connecting people, right? You know freaking everybody, dude. You know everybody in this industry. You can actually make millions of dollars just connecting dots. I have people in my ecosystem where all they do, because they know I have a lot of deals, right? All they do is they go out in the world and they find people who have private money. And then what do? They bring them to me. They say, Sam, you've got the deal. They say, Bob, you've got the money. Connects them. I use Bob's money. Bob gets into a deal. And guess what? The connector in between, he gets a cut of the pie. There's an infinite way to make money in this industry. So just focus on what your superpower is. Focus on what you enjoy doing. And if you go with that, you just can't go wrong. But understand the season that you're in. Understand the season that you're in right now, the season that you want to be in later, and what it takes from you to get from point A to point B, and serve that. So, guys, we flew by today. We absolutely flew by today.
You know what's crazy? Out of all these episodes, bro, we can legit just start a mastermind. All these free sauce.
Facts.
And all you have to do is put like that cherry on top with Daryl's like private Zoom that we took off. Done.
Honestly, bro, I've been thinking about just putting it back out there.
You think so? Okay,
Yeah, just
man.
You're gonna put a lot of people out of business if you do that. That's actually one of my goals, guys, with my lead gen stuff, with the big master classes that I do. Like one of my goals, like truthfully, and I say this with nothing but love and respect, and this is I love market competition. I love when two companies go at that, right? Because when one company tries something and another company makes a product that's better and more affordable, who does that serve?
The customer.
It serves the customer. It serves everybody. And if the first company hates it, it's because they can't do anything better. The ball is in their court now to innovate, to make something better, to serve the community more, to serve the customer more. And the ones who can't, they get washed away. That actually serves everybody more. So I freaking love that. So with Daryl, man, if you go and make that live, dude, I know about at least 17 different people who you will put out of business tomorrow.
Bro, it's even worse. I was talking to Marlon about this. Like, I wasn't gonna announce this here, but that sales course you were talking about. So here's what we're doing. The Discord, it will not be free for too much longer. This is my first time saying this live. I wasn't even planning on saying this, right? It's not gonna be free too much longer. It's gonna be on a monthly subscription. It's gonna be about $60 a month, right? And I'm giving the sales course away to anybody who joins the Discord. They're just gonna get it for free.
It's Marlon was.
See, it's like I don't know if it's cute or scary because it's a little bit of both. Guys, that is absolutely insane. And here's a reality. One, Daryl, you should have charged for that like a year ago. That thing, dude, Dog Pound is insane. The amount of value that's in there. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me that you kept it free for as long as you did. That just means, guys, like right now it is still free, right?
Yeah, right now it's still free.
Right now it's still free. So get in while you can before there's actually a price up front. Guys, the reality is this: anything that we do in the lead gen strategies, it's just like Alejandro's episode last week on focus, right? Is that we can talk about this stuff forever. We really can, right? 1 hour, 50 minutes is not enough time to talk about PPC at a really high level. That would take me 4 hours to show you A to Z, everything that you need to know. So we're going to keep continuing these series. We're going to keep continuing talking about focus. We're going to continue talking about mindset. We're going to continue different forms of lead gen mastery as they come along. Daryl can go on sales for forever. But today's episode was really good. I really hope we were able to give you guys some value. But as we wrap up, I think it's really important that we actually hit a big announcement today. And I want to bring one of the dopest human beings on earth up for it. Alejandro, dude, what do you got going on, bro?
Ooh. Thank you for the introduction, sir. Well, I'm starting this program. It's on how to build discipline, how to be consistent, how to build great habits that's going to take you to the next level. Because people ask me consistently every day, dude, what do you do? How do you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning? How do you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why are you always so consistent? Why do you have multiple businesses? How do you do that? Well, the reality of it, guys, is the time that we all have available, I'm just increasing the amount of productivity throughout the day. And I'm finally releasing a program. Right now, I'm only taking 5 people for next month. We have 3 spots left. So if you want to figure that out, if you want to make an investment in yourself, if you're tired of not being consistent, if you're tired of just being lost and not having clear expectations for your goals, and you want to have accountability like myself, Marlon, Sam, Daryl, click the link. It's a free discovery call for 20 minutes. Just that alone is going to give you some free sauce.
I'm sharing that link right now to everybody on my side because, real talk, Alejandro is, and I'm like big on this because like everyone knows I do coaching, and I always like when people say like, like who should I work with? Like one of the first things I say to them is, first off, find the person that you resonate with. That's first and foremost. Like find the person whose voice you're like, when that person speaks for whatever reason, it clicks. Then the second thing is find someone that not only does their voice click, but there's alignment with their words and actions. This is why Alejandro is my accountability partner. Like this is why he's the person that I rely on personally every single day to keep me on track with my business and my life goals. is because he's a person that every single time his words and his actions are in deep alignment. These are the sort of people that have the ability to influence other humans. This is what you need out of a coach, out of a mentor, out of anybody that you bring into your circle of influence. Make sure that their words and alignment are lock solid. So, guys, reach out to Alejandro, connect with him on this ASAP. I personally low-key been like tapping into this like for the last year. It's like that's been like I feel like I got to be like the beta test for the last year. Phenomenal, bro. Like I appreciate you immensely. Like my life, my health, my fitness, my finances, like everything has grown and gotten better, and it's still continuing to progress. So I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Daryl.
Dude, as we wrap this up, I want to highlight this, guys. One thing that Marlon said is so key. It's who do you resonate with, right? Who do you align with, and who speaks with conviction. So when you hear them speak, there's not a shadow of a doubt that what they say is true. What they say is true in their own belief in themselves. And then that, guys, guess what? That stuff translates into business. Like their businesses will succeed. You guys can't really see it too much. I mean, you can see his arms right now, but the reality is Alejandro's freaking jacked too. His discipline is not just in the sphere of waking up and reading. It's not just in the sphere of waking up and getting business done. It also shows up in his relationships. He's disciplined in his relationship, in his private relationships, in his friendships, in his business as a leader, being a leader who has a team. For a lot of you guys who are struggling to get immediate traction, and that was funny. A lot of you guys who are struggling to get traction. A lot of you guys who are struggling to put in the work consistently, right? Maybe, and here's I'm gonna actually call out a very specific avatar. If you are on every Zoom possible, if you are on 40 hours a week of Zooms, if you consume all of my content, Marlon's content, Daryl's content, and Alejandro's content, you probably are lacking focus right now. And that is a universal truth. And between the four of us, we all have our skill sets. We all have the things that we have superpowers in. Alejandro's is the fact that his discipline is through the roof. His focus is through the roof. So Joel says, I'm on everything. Joel, sketch the damn ball, bro. Focus is critical because when you have focus in that, you'll have focus in everything else. So Alvarez, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I've been waiting a long damn time for you to release this damn thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so good. So good. Congrats to you, man. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I can't wait to see the lives that are going to be changed. You said 5 people? Only 5 people?
Only 5 people. Because I really want to quote focus on making sure I provide.
Damn, I can't get in value. I know I can't get in then. Damn it. All right. I'm selfish. I already get enough time with you as it is. Guys, get in while you can, because otherwise it's probably going to go up a lot. Because what's going to happen is this. The reality is this. He's going to go change 5 people's lives. They're all going to make a crap ton of money. They're all going to get jacked. And what you think that price point, whatever it is going to stay where it's at? Hell no. I won't let it stay that way. Like, I will step in and yell at Alejandro.
Bro, you told me to charge like almost 3 times as much.
Yeah, and the fact that you're not is mind-blowing to me, but it's okay. You'll get there because it's worth it. It's worth it. I would pay $100,000 right now just to have those sessions with you, truthfully, because I know that it will actually force me to produce more in every other aspect of my life. Because the number one thing, guys, the last thing I'll say, and then we'll wrap it up, is I went to these guys in this podcast because I knew that they all had traits that I didn't have that I needed. Focus was the number one thing from Alejandro. So, Marlon, the folks got dues to pay, bro.
Yo, you guys got dudes, but I'm passing this one on to Daryl, though. Daryl's gonna get y'all right on what they need to do, Daryl, because they were here tonight. They were absorbing some value. What do we need? What's the cost of admission for coming through to the Think Big podcast?
Bro, the only cost of admission, we don't want y'all money. We don't want nothing from y'all. All we want is for y'all to make sure you subscribe to all of our channels and you like this video, subscribe, and you tell a
Bro, every time. I
bounce out.
You bounce that, dog.
Y'all hear me now?
We got you.
It's time. It's time. The universe is telling us it's time.
It's time. Let's wrap it up. You got it.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week on the Think Big podcast.